What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jonathan Velasquez, and we are bringing you mock drafts. It is mock draft season. The draft is coming up in a couple months. So, let me tell you how this is all going to work real quick. This is the intro video. Basically, what we're doing is I'm going to go from team rankings of 32 to 1, or in the sense of the number one team all the way down to the bottom team, but pick wise, obviously be 32. And so that means we're starting off with the Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams with this video. So I'm going to be telling you guys where they finished off this season, and I'm going to be telling you potential trade before the actual mock draft starts, and then we will pursue with the whole ordeal. So, like I said before, I have the Los Angeles Rams. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and that defense showed out. Now it's the offseason. We already know Andrew Whitworth was calling it a career. We know Aaron Donald's coming back. We know Sean McVay's coming back. But now, what are we going to do with all these picks? Well, that's when I step into the GM chair, and I make a couple moves that I think will benefit the team in the long run. So, alert, we have a pre-draft trade. This may happen weeks or months before the actual draft. Harrison Bryant, tight end from Cleveland, he gets sent here to Los Angeles in exchange for a 6th and a 7th pick. Why I like this? Well, first of all, I think Harrison Bryant is a underutilized tight end in that Cleveland system. Now he gets pushed to a pass-heavy system where I feel like he can be an absolute star. Not to mention, Tyler Higbee, tight end, recently injured himself this past playoffs. I believe he's expendable. Not to mention, if they were able to release him, it would allow some cap to be released up and potentially use it to maybe re-signing OBJ, bringing back Von Miller, and a plethora of other areas that need to be re-signed or reworked. So that's my pre-draft trade. We do send a 6th and a 7th, like I said. Rams receive Harrison Bryant. Cleveland Browns receive draft compensation. I think it's a win-win for both parties. Obviously, all the analytics and stuff will probably have to get calculated by whoever runs the show. Now, moving on to the actual mock draft. So that leaves us with a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2 6ths, and 1 7. Starting off, oh, by the way, no first-round picks. Obviously, the Los Angeles Rams haven't had a first-round pick since Jared Goff, so it's been quite a bit. Now, without further ado, let's get right to it. 3rd-round pick, their first pick in the draft. They're going Troy Anderson, the linebacker from Montana State. Look, this guy is a very versatile athlete. I mean, he's 6'4". He was a previous quarterback and running back at Montana State, converted into linebacker his senior year, and boy, did he show out. I believe he had around 60-plus quarterback pressures. That's insane, and there's a lot to love on film. Obviously, his strengths, very athletic, gets to the ball, has great straight-line speed. One of his knocks, though, is his footwork. He does need a little practice with that. He definitely gets his feet tied up in some of the videos that I've seen, some of the film that I've seen. But if you could mop that up with perhaps maybe some good Los Angeles Rams coaching, there's no reason why this man can't be a star in Los Angeles. Moving on to our second pick, the 4th-round pick, we're going Kellen Diesch, the offensive tackle from Arizona State. Look, there's a lot to love with Kellen Diesch. The only reason why he's dropping down to the 4th round is because of consistency issues. There's some plays where he can take on your best defensive player and pancake him, and then there's other plays where he gets absolutely steamrolled by that same player. If he is able to tune up on the consistency a little bit, especially on the pass blocking front, there is no doubt in my mind that this is an absolute value/steal pick in the 4th round. Not to mention, there's a couple holes that need to be filled, specifically with the Los Angeles Rams offensive line, left tackle position. Andrew Whitworth is leaving some big shoes to fill, and perhaps with the right coaching, Kellen Diesch is the guy. Moving on to our 5th-round pick, it's Brock Purdy, the quarterback from Iowa State. Look, before the season started, he was a consensus top 5 quarterback, no doubt, no questions asked. Unfortunately, as Iowa State started losing and dropping games, so did Brock Purdy's draft stock. He has Very good potential as a quarterback all around, and even at the NFL level, he has the size, he has the arm. Consistency is obviously the biggest issue, and you'll see that as a trend with a lot of these players coming up. These late round picks, consistency is very much the issue. If he can get consistent enough where he can make the passes that he needs to, there's no doubt in my mind that perhaps the Rams have found the quarterback of the future. Even though they're probably not looking quite yet, Matthew Stafford had an MVP caliber season last year that ultimately led in the Super Bowl. But what a great guy to learn behind in Matthew Stafford. Moving on to our 6th round picks, there's 2 of them. The first one, we're going Isaac Taylor Stewart, the cornerback from USC. Look, he doesn't have to travel too far. He stays in LA. Biggest strength with him is his size and his athleticism and his ability to kind of shift his hips. You want to look for hip mobilities within cornerbacks, and he has it 100%. Smooth like butter. The one knock on him, and just like all these other guys, is inconsistencies. He doesn't have the tightness to keep up with the wide receivers at times. He does allow quite a bit of separation that can ultimately get you burned or make a jump ball from a 50-50 ball to perhaps a 70-30 ball, with the 70% going to the wide receiver on the possibility of making the catch. Nonetheless, though, this is a position of need for the Rams. You can never have too many good cornerbacks. He would just be adding depth. Our second 6th round pick is my personal favorite, Marquise Bell from Florida A&M. Look, he is an absolute stud safety. He can make all the tackles, super aggressive, plays his heart out, and he seems to have a magnet to the ball. Anywhere the ball is, he's typically in that area. He is one of the most profound tacklers I think I've seen at the college level ever. I've been watching college football for a good amount of time now, and he makes all the tackles that you need. He seems like an ultimate playmaker, and personally, he's probably my diamond in the rough pick for this year's draft. I could totally see him dropping down to this position, although I don't think he should be. And ultimately, he can be an absolute steal. The one knock on him is his weight size. Unfortunately, for some reason, they feel like he's possibly a little too skinny for the position, even though he's just been laying havoc. And NFL analysts and scouts alike would love for him to add a little more bulk to actually survive in the NFL. But a great value pick, and ultimately, in my opinion, a great steal, Marquise Bell from Florida A&M. And rounding out the picks for this mock draft, the 7th round pick, the Rams addressed a need at the offensive guard position. They draft William Dunkel, my personal favorite on the San Diego State team, offensive guard. Look, this man was an absolute beast when it came to run blocking. Now, with that being said, Los Angeles Rams are a pass team. We didn't really get to see that with San Diego State's offense. They were a very, very run-heavy team, as they always have been since the day I've been watching them. I feel that if he can get a couple preseason games under his belt, and we could see how he does in that Los Angeles Rams playbook and how he does with pass blocking consistently on just about 2 or 3 plays out of, 5 or 6. I'd say they're probably passing more than half the time anyway. And he can show consistency enough to give the quarterback enough time to throw. There's no doubt in my mind that he can eventually be a starter for the Los Angeles Rams. Definitely a guy that I believe can make the roster. And what a great pick in the 7th round. Ladies and gentlemen, those were my picks for this first mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Make sure to tune in next week. I will be doing the Cincinnati Bengals, and there's going to be quite a bit of offensive linemen drafted in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jonathan Velasquez. It was a pleasure. Check in next week. JV signing off.